Hi, welcome to Marriott MBA Today. I'm Melanie Lopez, and I'm joined today by Mitch Hyatt. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Melanie. I really appreciate being here.
Yeah, so you're a second-year MBA student, and you just completed an internship with one of Amazon.com's subsidiaries, Lab 126. Is that right?
That's correct.
So tell me a little bit about the recruiting process for Amazon.com and Lab 126 and how you got the internship.
Sure, that's great. So a little bit about it is Amazon themselves does recruit here on campus. They often have, due to their tax laws, they often do things remotely for info sessions and different things. So you won't see them on campus too often for like an info session, but your first round interviews will then also be on the phone. But if you pass those, then you'll then fly up to headquarters for kind of a flyback interview. With the lab group was actually kind of separate. It was similar process, but it was with different people actually out of San Jose, Cupertino area where they're located. But that's kind of the same type of process. You do another initial kind of phone screen or two, and then they'll fly you back for 2 or 3 face-to-face type interviews.
Great. So tell me a little bit more about Lab 126 and what your project was there.
Sure, absolutely. So a little bit of background on Lab 126. Lab 126 is Amazon's Kindle group. So they handle all things that have to do with mostly the hardware of Kindle. And that includes all of the product management type roles, all the operations type roles, and then what I did was around what they call reverse logistics. So it handled anything after the sale of the product. So if the customer had any problems with it, needed returns, when we refurbished the product, all of the operations that all went in behind the scenes of that type of process is kind of my role. So a specific project that I was in charge of was actually looking at what was the policies around returns for a lot of international markets. So Amazon's looking to launch the Kindle on lots of different marketplaces around the world, and they're looking to say what should our policies be around returns. And you'd be surprised at how different cultures handled returns. I had no idea until going into that to know that, the Japanese, handle them different than, let's say, the Europeans or whatnot. And so
merchandise returns?
Yeah, merchandise returns. I had no idea, but they had different timelines, different things they expect. So I was doing a lot of research around returns, around what they expect, and implementing those policies.
So how did you get to know so much about these other cultures? Did you do some traveling? Did you do interviews? What did that entail? That's
a great question. Yeah, I actually spent a lot of my time traveling over the summer. I was probably on the road, probably 30 to 40% of my time. I was in Europe, I was in Asia, I was in the Midwest, with doing a lot of traveling, meeting with the different Amazon and lab people in those different countries to try to help understand their marketplaces, and also get buy-in from a lot of those countries. Like for example, I was in Luxembourg, which is where Amazon's main office is located, and I had to really work closely with the EU members to try to get buy-in for the policies that I was trying to write and say, hey, this is the policy we hope to implement. What do you guys think about it? Does it meet your customers' expectations? Is it what you want? So met with a lot of customer service reps and different things over there to kind of help implement that.
So that's pretty unique for an internship to be flown around and have such responsibility. Tell me a little bit more about what they expect from their interns and what you thought of the experience.
Sure, that's great. Amazon is kind of known for requiring a lot. One of their key principles is really kind of this ownership principle of being you are in charge of of what you're doing, and they really thrust that on you fast. When I was just there, it's like, here, you're in charge of all these policies for all these international countries. Take them up and go. And I really had to kind of step up like, oh, I don't know anything about this. I better learn fast. So there was get in there fast, learn fast, and then you really had a chance to own it. And it's great. Amazon's a great place for people who like to own their own businesses, like to work. It's heavily analytics driven. So you need to, a lot of the things I would look at is what were customers' expectations around numbers, and they have all these metrics that they monitor, customer appreciation and satisfaction with our processes. So a lot of number crunching goes along in the background of all that stuff. So if you really like numbers, you really like owning a business, you like to be around a company that's growing really fast, Amazon's a great fit for you.
Great. So for the first year MBA students, was there any class in the first year that you really utilized during your internship?
Yeah, it was kind of funny. A class that I really enjoyed, but didn't think I'd ever really apply too much was Snow's operations class. I was, started it as a finance major, so I was kind of focused more on those finance classes. And so this operations, oh, that's nice, but that's cool. But really learning how to flowchart, learning the process of what goes into a company, I took that and was really, because it was an operations type group that I was a part of, it was really important to understand those operations frameworks and what a flowchart was and how to, because I was in a lot of fulfillment centers too as part of this. So I saw these operations and had to kind of be able to quickly say, oh, what's throughput time and, cycle time,
Right.
and have to remember those, those terms that were pretty common within my group and have that background. I needed that.
That's great. No, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today, Mitch. And thank you for watching Marriott MBA Today.
Thanks.